with the symptom. That means, and most of the studies in the brain research, what we showed, it's a purely correlation. Correlation is the causation. Okay, I will tell you why. So, in a genetic research, to produce this snail, this color, brown color, compound has to be converted into B and B converted to C. When you have a blockage in the C, you cannot produce a brown color. Even when you have a mutation in the enzyme 1, again you cannot produce the brown color because you cannot run this pathway. Similarly, if it could be mind, there could be something, if there is a mind, if it is upstream of this thing, if it can produce the thoughts or it could be something and it transmits to the brain, and then you have a thoughts and creativity and everything. If brain is dysfunction, again you don't see this phenotype, thoughts or creativity, memory and everything. Even you have any mind but still brain is fully functional, again you have this thing. That means definitely there could be something beyond brain playing a role in the formation of thought and behavior and cognitive functions. But we don't have any scientific tools to probe beyond brain. So, as a scientist, you should be more open and you should be embrace to tackle the problem. You cannot confine to one kind of hypothesis. So, what actually do we have any answers in other any views in other domain? So then, if you carefully look at in Vedanta, they have very clear and definitive answer. Means the clear and definitive answers they provided. Okay, in Vedanta, here you see the physical body, that's mean what you are seeing, me or you, made up of lipids, proteins, and DNA, RNA, and nucleic acid, my bone structure, whatever. At the end, you make all these things. And you also have subtle bodies called Shukshma Sharira. It is mind, intellect, ego, manas, buddhi, and ahankara. And the Sukshma Sharira, it's called, in fairly terms, you can say manas or mind, you can altogether. I am generalizing more. And you also have Karna Sharira, like casuality, that means Atma, that is you, that means the person who's speaking, that me, and the person who's listening, you, is the person who observer and observed. And this is and this Atma or a soul, it has a consciousness and it spreads through the Shukma Sharira and Sthula Sharira. So that I'm aware of my movement and fingers, what I'm talking about, and I can also experience what I'm doing it. And this consciousness comes from and this soul. So we don't have any access with whatever scientific advancement the tools and Shukma Sharira and Atma. But we have very good, fairly good enough access to physical body so that we can diagnose this liver, kidney, all the lipids and all the nutrients, vitamins and everything. We can profile it. We can do the profiling of all the metabolites and we can find the disease. So Vedanta says your impressions, okay, will say. So Vedanta says your always input, it could be touch, smell, and hearing, whatever it is, those sensory inputs, also some mental inputs, it could not be sensory inputs, they actually creates kind of subliminal impressions. It's called samskara. And those are accumulated in the Shukra Sharira, in the mind. So, and the Sukshma Sharira and physical body and the subtle body, and these two is associated and connected well with by prana, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra. When you don't have prana, the vital energy, you will lose the connection between the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, and physical body, the body which you are seeing. Then when you lost this vital energy or a prana, you can say person is dead. Then he doesn't have any cognitive function. I don't think he has any thought process at that moment, visibly thought process. But this Shukma Sharira and Atma, this is continuous. The movement uh, depends on your sensory inputs. You know what kind of inputs you provide. The outcome also will be like this. If it is sattva, means it's in a pure, I forgot the word, in goodness, mode of goodness, or tranquil. It creates a tranquility and steadiness in the mind, and thoughts will be very clear and continuous, very nice way. And if the sensory input, if it is very hesitate in nature, and if those things, and it creates restless and hesitation. And if your mental and sensory inputs and thought process is very corrupt, and you have a dull and lethargy, lack of motivation and everything. So it's always very important what actually kind of sensory inputs you are providing and you are taking actually. Depends on the outcome of your thoughts also will be there. And if you could control the kind of sensory input or a mental input, if it is more in a good manner, and when you cultivate with a good uh, when you have a good inputs, then you also have a good kind of thoughts and everything. So, and if you say that pure thoughts are and good thoughts and lower thoughts, which are means not actually, it's not a good word to say, it's a lower thought or something. And we can say these thoughts could associate with rajas and tamasic vasanas. Samskaras means the impressions. You experience many things in this lifetime, and those all create some kind of impressions in your mind in the Sukshma Sharira. And these things get activated when they associate with these energies, forces like Rajas, Tamas, and everything that creates a vasanas, means the tendencies, the behavior you have. I don't like so taste, but how you say that, like what is the basis, like why I don't like so taste. I like the sweets, but this kind of vasanas you have a particular these things creates. And when you are free from these vasanas means not a tendencies, behavioral tendencies, this thing, and samskaras, then you are free from the bondage. So in the higher thoughts, when it's in sattva, you have a freedom from the bondage, a freedom from the karma. And when you are in the lower thoughts, it's actually in the mind, it creates the bondage. And these thoughts actually makes you have a clear thinking. And here actually you are bound to uh, again addicted to when if your inputs are not good, if you are not taking good care of yourself, associated with a bad company and bad intake, then it's also create kind of addictions. And why I'm telling this, like, it's also very important to know not only what is the source of thoughts, it's also important to cultivate good thoughts so that you can be more peaceful and happy. At the end, everyone want to be happy. So actually, you can go through literature and you can find we don't have much time to go in detail here. But how you can cultivate pure thoughts? There are different ways so that you don't. When you have a pure thoughts, you have a good memory and you can more focus on your studies and everything. So how actually you can cultivate pure thoughts or a good thoughts? There are in the Vedanta there are 5 6 things they listed. I will explain a couple of them, and one is food and actions. The actions we perform are then it creates samskars and vasanas, and deliberation and discrimination. I will go in detail about all these things and the detachment and worshipping the Lord. So So pure thought. The first thing is like according to Chandogya Upanishad, like you can read the commentary of Ramanacharya or Adi Shankaracharya. It says like uh, Vimshati Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhau Dhruvasmruti means like if you eat pure food, then your mind becomes pure. When your mind becomes pure, then you can have a good thoughts and pure thoughts, and then you are happy and your memory is good and you are more focused on your studies, and you are eventually you can think, you can also see things as it is, not by illusion things, and it creates a free from the bondage. Free from the bondage here means from the free from the karma. So pure food means what? Like it should be pure in the content, whatever the food which is good in nature, and also it says that the environment which you cook also should be pure, and also third one is the consciousness of the person who's also influence on the food preparation in according to Manjucharya. And so it's also when the person is very angry, upset, and in the depression, it food also uh, get affected. So first basis is this thing, and second actions. What actions you are performing? For example, what kind of input you are giving. When you are cultivating very bad habits, it creates impression, and at the end leads to those impressions in the mind accumulated in the Shukma Sharira, and that creates a tendency to our vasanas, and then it reflects in your behavior, and at the end your behavior get affected. And discrimination and vicharana or viveka, with wise and discrimination using buddhi, you can discriminate and stop the bad thoughts, and you can avoid it, and you can not associating those activities or not associating with those kind of mental inputs, and you can go for this thing. That helps you again have a pure mind and pure thought process. Vairagya means okay to have in a simple term, not in a high level, but in a simple term, you can be dissociated from the bad stuff so that you can cultivate it. Last one is like another thing is meditation that also clears off many impurities in the mind, and means removes the samskara, subliminal impressions which are accumulated over a time of time in that clears off. That's thing. And the last one is worshipping the Lord, and it says that Taja Tada Rajas Tamo Bhavam. Okay, this sloka, like if you read, we don't have much time, and it says that when you perform loving service in loving service, it means in other terms it's a bhakti in our term, and it clears off many impurities in the mind. It could be desires and hankering, and which are associated with the mode of fashion and ignorance. And it gives a goodness, and you will be completely happy, and your thought will be pure. And also to get now and with the knowledge and uh, associating the bad, dissociating from the bad things, you can also cultivate this. That is also happened. Bhagavatam says, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoge Prayodhita Janayati Asu Vairakyam Jnanam Yat Haituki. Haituki means the moment you cultivating or loving devotion or bhakti, automatically vairagya, like and uh, knowledge comes immediately. When you have a good knowledge about the real knowledge, that means self and non-self, about the self, then like when you can, in a very simple term, how you can clear off these all impurities. In a dark room, when you kindle the lamp, it dissipates the darkness and it clears, and the luminous covers the whole room. Like that, even though it accumulated all impurities in the mind over a period of time, but you can clear off by kindling bhakti. and it clears all the impurities. Okay, and in the summary, at least we don't have any answer at this moment that the brain can actually produce a thought. We don't have any neurological basis to produce a thought, and and mental illness or mind or whatever thoughts, which is obsessive in nature, does not have any genetic or a biological basis. And according to Vedanta, mind actually, the thoughts actually comes from self and filtered through the mind, yeah, and ultimately it comes out. And cultivating good habits, and it helps you to avoid unwanted and destructive thoughts. So thank you. If you have any question, feel free to ask. Yes, please. Yes. Yeah. Hello. Yes, I can hear you. Yes. So actually, many people are actually trying to map uh, about the different thoughts, like a creative thought, a spontaneous thought, and whatever. Maybe it's you can say uh, good and bad thought. But at this moment, results are not very concrete. So maybe it will take some more time uh, with the availability of new technology and tools to really map the neural circuits, which is actually associating with different kind of thoughts. And but of course, this is only correlation, but does not answer that thought is coming from those neurons. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I had a question that you said that brain is not a producer of thought. Can we call it a receiver of thought? Like, can you comment on this?
Instead of receiver, I can say it can. Yeah, you can say transmitting. I would say transmitter. Like for example, like when you have a TV. Uh, so when you break the display, you lose the analogy is you lose the visual things, right? But that is not it's actually producing the everything is coming from the YouTube, which is already is in the somebody prepared the content, so it's only displaying. I think I would say brain is transmitting things. uh, I don't know whether it's a good word to use the receiver or transmitter. Yeah, it's, but yes.
So I want to ask you if any research has been done on on the debate between determinism and free will. So can you comment on that? In the picture that you presented, how does free will or determinism in your
Yes, there were some. If I remembered, there are people they try to address this question in cognitive psychology. Actually, back in days, I read about some papers from Zurich, but it's very hard. Actually, it's a gray area. We don't have a definite answer for that. Actually, if you want, I can forward those papers. Yes.
So can you please say that how is thought related to memory?
Yes. You most of the time you always think the source is memory actually. Like from the memory, your thought process goes on. One of the main thing. So whatever the things like, if you don't have a memory or a memory retrieval or a memory thing, and I don't know, like your thought process also get affected. So that way, like memory is also basis for this thought process.
So it means if we make positive thought, our memory will increase.
According to Vedanta, yes, but I don't know. I never tested.
Yeah, Dr. Chandrakant, it is so nice presentation. In fact, just I have one query. If the memory is a resource for everything, and
Not
it,
okay.
yeah, please.
No, no. Yeah, go ahead.
So, if the memory is indispensable, then if it is not there, then, then there is no thought process. That is what I mean. I understood from this. So, how this idea, which is coming as an inspiration, then if there is no memory, then how I can get the inspiration? Or vice if the memory is not indispensable, how the inspiration is coming from?
So one thing is, I'm not saying that I'm okay. I didn't say that memory is everything. Certainly, memory is also required for the thought processing. It also plays a role. First thing, it's not the ultimate. And of course, we don't have any right and good answers in the, especially in the neuroscience. Um, how this creative thinking or a spontaneous splash thing comes thinking arises. Yeah, then at least in the neuroscience, we don't have any great answers. In Vedanta, uh, it says that there is one sloka in Bhagavad Gita. It says Matra Smritin. It says that in simple term, memory and some kind of the inspirations can be comes from super soul also.
Okay, Shrikant, very good lecture. Just a quick thought, like as you expressed that there are difficulties to understand thought or mind using brain. Uh, so could we now or eventually in future, like in physics, we came up with the uncertainty, the kind of limits we encountered, right? So could we think of kind of uncertainty equation in neuroscience now or slowly, so that we are black and white clear, these are the limits? Do you think this kind of thought is a useful thought, feasible direction?
Yeah, actually, I have a limitation here in understanding about uncertainty theory applying in the neuroscience because lack of knowledge in especially this Heisenberg equation here. But I don't know how they you apply in the physics and get a black and white answer. But I think it takes some time to really convince or get majority of the scientists to look for the alternative view. At this moment, we still hold on brain actually. I'm sorry, actually, I don't know how to apply that equation in neuroscience.
Can someone give us mic, please?
Hello, is anyone there? Did I lost connection?
No, you are online.
Yeah, yeah. So, is there any questions? Other questions?
Somebody has raised the hand.
Yeah. Ah, okay. Sorry, I will check. Uh, okay. But he said I had a question, but he didn't mention the question.
Yeah, hello, sir. So,
Yes, please.
I had a question on like impressions on the brain. So, like, I've read somewhere that just like a computer is trained on neural networks, suppose the image is presented and then it trains itself. So, does our brain work like that? That it converts everything we see into electrical signals and stores in the memory?
Yeah, that is